Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. After now we have been working on individual words in Arabic. An individual word in Arabic is called mufrad. Fully vocalizing it, mufradun, and the plural will be mufradatun. So there is a root which is called fa, ra and dal. From this root we get afrada yufridu ifradun. Afrada yufridu ifradun. Madi, Mudare, and this is Masdar. And from this Masdar we derive mufradun, noun mufradun, which means single, not singular, single. Not singular. Singular will be as in singular, dual and plural, while the single will be one, basically means single device and then three devices, which is combination of devices. So single as opposite to combination or composition, that kind of thing. So mufradun, mufradatun. And we have another root, ra, kaf, ba. Ra, kaf and ba. From this we get tarakkaba, yatarakkabu, tarakkaba, yat tarakkabu, Madi, Mudare, tarakkabun, Masdar. Tarakkabun. So from this Masdar we have murakkabun. Murakkaban. So tarakkaba ya tarakkabu, tarakkabun means to be composed of, to be composed of, to be composed of something. So that's what that means, Madi, Mudare and Masdar. And murakkab will be then composition. Composition. So what are we going to do is that from mufrad we are going to move on to murakkabat. Plural will be murakkabat. So murakkabat means we are going to put individual words together. We are going to put mufradat together in composition, in combination. This could be called combination. And we can use another word, construction. So that's the terminology which we are going to use for murakkabat. So we're going to put together individual words, mufradat, to make phrases and sentences. But before we do that, I'm going to take you back to give you a summary covering what we have been working on so far. We are now familiar with this root system, and also we have worked on some patterns in Arabic as well. So the system of roots and patterns. So I'm going to give you examples of a couple of roots and then take you along this trajectory of grammatic terminology. Let's take, we know that root in Arabic, 99% of the words in Arabic have 3-letter root, and that 3-letter root, if we pick one of those here, not the root, let's pick the letters first. So we have 3 letters, kaf, ta, ba, kaf, ta, ba. So these are individual letters. If we say these letters in isolation, we can say ta, ba, kaf, kaf, ba, ta, ta, kaf, ba, in any order. So here we are looking at them individually without an order. When we look at 3 letters in isolation like that, they have an abstract level of meaning which is very general, broad kind of meaning, and to get concrete meaning from those, we will have to give these an order, these letters an order. So 2 orders of these letters which has been used in Quran are, one is kataba, and the other one is kabata. So kabata yakbitu kabtun, kabata yakbitu kabtun. This gives a meaning of to make someone abased and humiliated. So in classical Arabic, if we say kabatahu, and that will mean that he wrestled and put him face down on the ground in submission, and that is physical humiliation. Subduing something like that on the ground and putting them in that position is a sign of power on that person. So it is a solid humiliation for the wrestler lying face down on the ground. And what is interesting is that there is a related meaning between this root kabata and the other one kataba. Kabata and that's kataba. The same letters, order is different. Kataba. Kataba means being in a position of authority. So once someone humiliates one, abases one, and subdues one, they have the power, they have the authority. And similarly, kataba is used for authoritative writing or a decree from someone in a higher position. For example, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or we can say in this word from a judge. So on a smaller scale, we have a judge who issues decrees, verdicts, etc. So kataba means Kataba basically then means to prescribe, to order, to make a contract, to make a decree, etc. And most importantly, it is used for revelation, which is the strongest form and most authoritative of the writings or decrease, as we know. Let's look at another example. 3 letters, Sin, Lam, Mim. So Sin, Lam, Mim, from which we get Salima, Yaslamu. Salima, Yaslamu. Madi, Mudare, and Salamun is the masdar. Some words will have more than 2 masadar, so Salamun is one, and there's another one is Salamatun. Salamatun. So 2 masdars. And this really means peace, submission, or security. Salima, Yaslamu, Salaman, when put in this order, that means peace, submission, or security. And when we change the order around and we say Lamisa, order has changed, Lamisa. Lamisa means to touch. But touch also has the abstract meaning of protection or security. For example, someone has a setback, he is a close friend of yours who is in a bad way, and you hear the story, and what do you say? You just put your hand around, touch. Without saying anything, this means, don't worry, I'm here with you, we will get you out of this mess. So something, Lamisa, or touch, is something to do with protection and security in that broad sense. But on a concrete, that's the abstract level. On a concrete level, Salima means submission, peace, security. Lamisa means touch, to touch. But when we go at that level, there is a connection between these 2 orders, 2 word arrangements, 2 orders of these words. So that's our concrete level. And from the concrete level, then we move on to the next level, which is construction. So what we do is we take a root, and then we start making different words from that root. So if we take Kataba, I think I've already made some words from this root, Kataba. So Kataba is he wrote, that's the past tense. Yaktubu, he writes or he will write. And then we can have use this pattern. Fa'ilun, we have Katibun, which means writer. Anybody who writes anything, if I write a piece of paper, just A4 page on something, I'm a writer. And then we have from the same root Katabun, which is author. So author means writing all the time and writing lots and lots of things, books, etc., etc. Katabun. We have another word, Maktubun. Maktubun is something which has been written. So quite often this is used for a letter, for example. Letter is something which is written. Action of writing takes place on maktub. Then we have maktabun. Maktabun, that means desk, or modern uses for office where a lot of writing takes place. And then from there we can have maktabatun. Which means library, where again there's a lot of writing takes place, and it's also used for university or college. So one root, so kataba basically means something to do with writing, and when we put in these different constructions, that gives different meanings, but all these meanings have a connotation of writing. The other example which we looked at, Seen, Lam, Mim, we can similarly make different words from that. Seen, Lam, Mim. So Salima will be the past tense. Salima, past tense. And then we have from this word Muslim, Muslimun. We can have Salim from this, intact, something to do with being secure, intact, Salim. And there's another interesting word, Musallamatun, used in Surah Baqarah in the case of that cow, Musallamatun. When they were asked by Prophet Moses to slaughter a cow, and then they started making excuses and started asking questions, what kind of cow, what color, what type, etc., etc. And when they asked for the third time, the answer was Kala innahu yukulu innaha bakratun la zululun tusirul arda wala taskal hars musallamatun la shiyata fiha. Musallamatun, perfect. Musallamatun, kind of meaning of perfect. Musallamatun la shiyata fiha, there is absolutely no blemish on it. So that's the kind of description which was given, and finally they had to slaughter that cow. They didn't want to. So different words from the same root. So that's our level of construction. So we move on from abstract to concrete and then to construction. And at this level of combination, what we do is we put these words together. So basically we put parts of speech together here to make phrases and sentences, and then we combine those phrases and sentences to make prose, write a book, etc., etc. So that's combination of words. And then when we make these sentences, how do we express those sentences? How we use these sentences really to make a meaningful expression? That's this level of expression. So going back, we have got abstract level, we go to concrete to give specific order, giving specific meaning. So that's got very general broad meaning, specific order, then specific meaning, which will still have the connotation of other constructions, meaning of other constructions. And then we move on to making different words from that specific root, and then we put these words together, combine them to make sentences, and then how they are combined in a specific order to give a specific expression. That comes the final stage. So what all that means in practice really. At concrete level, when we have a different three-letter root combinations such as Seen, Lam, Mim, so that is something to do with Luga, Lugatun, which means consulting the dictionary. So we have this root, and we will go in the dictionary and check its meaning, what it means, and then start making words and sentences, and then find a way of expressing what we want to say. So that's to do with Luga, the language itself. And when we make different words from that, construction of the words then is called surf. It's the science of surf. We're kind of already familiar with it. Surf. So how we construct the different words from a specific root is surf. And then combination of the words, how the words are combined together, putting together or combining parts of speech, that is called Nahv. That is this stage, Nahv. That's called Nahv. And then at this level, The expression how these words are put together in different word orders and arrangements to give a similar but not exactly the same meaning, that is balagha. Balagatan. So loosely translated as rhetoric, but rhetoric these days, especially in politics, could be something really rubbish as well. So balagha is balagha, and that's what balagha means. As an example, I think quite right at the beginning I gave an example of English sentence which was Hamid helped Zaid, and we said at that stage that we can translate that in Arabic in 6 different ways, and then what of those 6 different constructions, which one we pick is the skill, because that will then give exactly the meaning what you want to convey to others in speech, and that will depend on so many things, what people want to know, what's the history, what's the reality, is there any ambiguity among the audience, and sometimes also aim of the speaker. And doing this consistently all the time is a very difficult thing to do. At human level we can produce good pieces of writings, but doing consistently and producing high prose all the time, that is a very difficult task to do. And when we say balagha about Quran, it has been done consistently in Quran, and there is absolutely no doubt about that. So what we have here is that we have science of Lugha, which is to do basically with the dictionary, and Arabic dictionary is different from English dictionary in a way that when we consult the dictionary, we consult dictionary on the root letters. For example, if we have word Muslim and we want to check in the dictionary Muslim, we will not find this under meme, because this meme doesn't make part of the root, and the root is sin lam meme. So we have to start with sin, then see where lam is, go to lam, and then meme, and then we will get there and we will find this combination sin lam meme. And the first thing which we will see will be the past tense. From that we will calculate mudare. Masdar will be given. Quite often there is more than one masdar related to a verb, and then there will be different nouns which come from that masdar, they are given. So that's how we consult dictionary in Arabic. After the Lugha we have the sciences of Sarf and Nahw. As we know that that's a kind of really calculation. We can calculate we can construct different words, and we can construct different sentences, and we can put words together in a way which will fit in a specific situation. So kind of a lot of calculation in Sarf and Nahw, whereas balagha is to do with the philosophical and spiritual aspect of the language. So if you want to learn Arabic and your aim is to start speaking Arabic fluently, then the only knowledge of Sarf and Nahw is not going to be very helpful. One needs to be familiar with the science of balagha. However, to understand Quran in its own language, Nahw and Sarf are extremely important. Perfection in Nahw and Sarf brings fasaha to the language. That's another word, fasaha. Fasaha. So fasaha is to do with the Sarf and Nahw, and perfection in Sarf and Nahw. And then fasaha and balagha, they combine to make the speech eloquent. So Quran is both Fasih as well as Baliq. That's the terminology we often hear, Fasih and Baliq. So basically when we look at Fasah, there are a lot of components of Fasah. It's not just we cannot define it just with one word, but it has actually to do with clarity. The clarity of the language involves kind of constructing words and putting the words together in a way that there are no grammatical mistakes at all. While Balagha, as I said, is the expression part of it, and actually there are 3 sciences of Balagha. They are called Ilmul Ma'ani, Ilmul Bayan and Ilmul Badi. I'm not certainly going to go into this because at this level we will have to focus just on Sarf and Nahv and not on Balagha. In some madrasas they teach you Sarf first and then they move on to Nahv, but in our case Sarf and Nahv are going to go side by side. Just at times, especially when we started analyzing Quranic ayahs, I will point to Balagha from time to time and say, oh, this is to do with Balagha. But Balagha is not really what we are going to deal with at this basic stage of learning Arabic grammar. I said Balagha is important aspect of the language in conversation. At conversation level, the knowledge of grammar does help but doesn't fulfill the aim of the language. Balagha is important for expression. Otherwise, what happens is that we end up translating in our head from English to Arabic. And those who then speak Arabic, whose first language is Arabic, they will immediately know that's what we are doing, and they will know that, oh, this person doesn't know Arabic or this person is not Arab. As an example, for example, in English we say your food is delicious, your cooking is nice, your cooking is lovely, which is a perfect expression in English. Your cooking is lovely. Somebody whose first language was English and they knew a little bit of Punjabi, so they wanted to convey this to their Punjabi speaking auntie, and the person wanted to say your cooking is lovely, and that person translated that right from English to Punjabi, auntie ji salan soni hai. So now anybody who knows Punjabi, they will know that that doesn't really mean anything in Punjabi. Apologies to those who do not know Punjabi, but this is kind of very interesting translation, which is kind of translated literally direct from English to Punjabi, which doesn't work. Those who know the language, if they're kind enough, they will say, oh, this person doesn't really know Punjabi, and they will ignore you. And those who are not kind, they will kind of ridicule you, make fun of you, and laugh at you. So the point is that translations don't work. Quran translations are helpful, but they don't work really in a way that we don't fully understand the true meaning of especially some of the ayah. And certainly then translation is not something which is a very good a substitute of any language, and certainly not to that of Arabic language. I was going to touch on a murakkab today, but we have already taken quite a lot of time on this basic stuff once again. So next time inshallah we are going to work on a murakkab, and from that murakkab I will take you straight to a sentence in Arabic. Some teachers, especially in madrasas, they will go from one murakkab to another murakkab and yet another murakkab. But what I'm going to do is I'll introduce one murakkab next time and then take you straight to a sentence, so that this will become then much more interesting. We are certainly not going to be kind of taxiing all the time on the runway, and we are going to soon take off and make these lessons much more interesting. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.